Captain Ethan Whitehall, Company D, 2nd U.S. Sharpshooters. Today's video is another sponsored video by Carrie Davison of American Civil War Kits. This one is more of a tools in the process of how to sew a cap box kit, particularly for the federal issue cap box. Before you is the partially assembled cap box that I've done in stages, and we'll be explaining each one. And behind that are all the tools needed. Going from left to right, we have a pair of scissors for cutting thread, a mallet for using the various punches and everything for marking the leather and punching holes, a skeeving tool, which is used for shaving the cup to fit the body. When Carrie supplies a kit for the cap pouch, these are just pieces of leather that are wetted, then punched through. Because of that, there is just a little bit of width, so this one has been shaved down to fit the back of the body. Behind that is an X-Acto knife, a oblong punching tool used for making the holes for the belt strap loops, a slicking tool used for taking down the square edges of the cap box once it is completed. A must-have tool is a scratch awl. This is used for widening the holes made by the punches on the holes for the leather. We have a buttonhole punch. This is used for the piece of the finial, so it has it cuts it that allows it to stay closed. We have a 9-stitch per inch long prong. This one has 9 prongs on it. These are nice, however they do tend to get stuck in the leather more just because there's more surface area. We have the threads supplied. We have a 2-prong, a single prong, blunt sewing needles, a compass or a divider, just depending on your terminology. This is used just for determining widths for the belt loop straps, where things should be placed, and also how wide your stitches should be from the body. We also have a block of beeswax for waxing our thread before we sew. It lubricates it going through the leather. It makes it stronger when you tie a knot, since the wax does melt. Therefore, the knot has a less chance of coming loose. And this block of wood over here is what's known as a sewing horse, or in this case, since it's a small one, a sewing pony. Basically, you just take your work, clamp it in between these using the wing nut here, closes it down, and it makes it easier to sew for your work. To get into the sewing of a cat pouch kit, before I miss anything else, a hard rubber cutting pad. As you can tell, this has seen plenty of use being used for the cup, the body, and the inner flap. So before you get started with your kit, you need to at least mark where your stitches are going to be, usually by wetting your leather and then taking the backside of a knife or a marking tool. It just helps know where your stitches should line up. So the first part that needs to be done is having your belt loop straps. I did this mostly because if you sew your whole body together, you're not going to be able to reach to the inside very well to sew this, because this will be covered by the inner flap, like so. And in doing so, you won't be able to sew through this, the inner flap, and then to this. So what you should do first is take your oblong tool, punch your holes, make sure that they fit through, the belt loop straps fit through the holes, find the length that you like for your belt strap loops, punch holes in a square or almost semicircle form, sew these on first. If you don't sew these on first and you go with these, you're going to run into issues of not being able to really reach in here and sew very well. Or at least that's how I do it. I'm sure there's 1,001 ways on how to sew these. I may be doing it the completely wrong way, and there may be a far easier way, but this is how I do it. If there's any suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm sure Carrie, if he sees this video, he'll even point out things that I could do better on. Once these are done, you just sew the rest of the belt loop straps to this. And then after I was done with that, I took a punch. If you can see the holes already pre-marked, I just took the punch, punched these through. Once I was done punching this, I put these together, laid them on the very edge of my desk, and punched all the way around. Therefore, they were set. Each hole is matched with a corresponding hole from the cup to the outer flap and back of the body. I then attached the brass finial, which is right here. Essentially, all you need is just a hard work surface and a ball peen hammer. Comes with a brass washer, since brass is a very soft metal. Just had to roll over the corners, and as you can see, it's in there pretty tight. I'm really pulling on it. It does rotate, however, it's not going to come out. From there, with the body mark, the cup marked, I then went on to the inner flap. First thing I did was mark the wool piece to the bottom of the flap, about equal distance away from either side. I then punched it and sewed the wool to the outer flap. With a lot of mainstream reproductions out there, you'll notice a lot of this wool just falls out. It gets torn, mainly because it's very poorly done with very poor quality rubber cement. This is sewn in there, so this is not going to come out. I did use a leather contact cement just to get a little extra purchase and make sure that it would stay in there. After that, I went on to the protection ears. Of all the parts of the kit that are a little tricky, this would be the trickiest part. Mainly because you have to mark where the holes are, but not go all the way through this piece. As you can tell, as you can see, they don't come through the back side. What you have to do is take your scratch awl at a 45-degree angle, punch through the leather on this portion. A couple pieces where I messed up would be right here and right here. Let's see if I can get this to focus. There we go. It was right about here. What happened was I went too shallow. Instead of going towards the bottom here, I ended up going more towards the top, and once I pushed the awl through, it just tore it. It's a pretty easy fix. You just have to punch a hole all the way through, and then basically just sew through, and then meet your holes with the rest of your stitching. Those are pretty secured in there. Again, you may never, or I may not know that this needs to be farther down or maybe higher up. This is just where I thought it would look best. There we have the E. Gaylord of Chicopee, Massachusetts inspector stamp. So once all that is said and done, to complete the kit, which I will be doing here shortly, just need to basically add up all your pieces, including your nipple pick loop, and that's just going to go right with the stitching. I did mark a few holes for it to be sewn in, probably at about this height, just so it's below the upper flap so it doesn't push down on that nipple pick. So anyways, I'm going to get this all sewn up, and I will continue the video in just a few seconds. And here we have the completed kit. All in all, it's there's some things I could improve on. This dog ear, this protection ear definitely sticks out farther than this one. This can be seen by opening it up. And yeah, it is a little off center. That's more than likely my doing. But it is one of those things where this is one of the first cat pouches I've actually made all the way through, besides like repairs, that kind of stuff where I'm backtracking something already made. All in all, though, I'm quite happy with it. I'm quite happy with the kit that Carrie supplied us with. Well, kits. He supplied us also with a Confederate one. Um, Either way, I'm sure this will make someone in our company very happy. It's an amazing, amazing quality cat pouch. I know my sewing can probably stand to do a little better. I mean, you know, kind of stuff here, but I'm sure originals even had their variances and issues here and there. Again, Carrie, thank you so much for sending us 2 kits out of, you know, no charge, and being willing to do that for us. We're more than happy to do further videos in the future for you, construction videos, stuff like this. I really wish I could have shown the process of sewing this all the way through. However, this would either be a 3-hour video or a series of half-hour videos. Didn't really want to do that to you poor subscribers. That would just be cruel and unusual punishment. But again, really happy with how this little project turned out. Sure, I'll get better at it in the future, the more I kind of do with this stuff. But yeah, so if you guys like this video, please give it a like, comment, and if you want more videos on this kind of future stuff, let us know. Subscribe. We'd love to hear more input and see that subscription count go up. Not to mention, this will probably be featured on Carrie's site and will also be featured on our Facebook page. Anyways, thank you for watching, and again, just any pointers, anything like that for me, please give me a comment. Thank you.